This is going to be very unpopular. We can't do reparations first. And the reason why we can't do reparations first is because with the level of wealth inequality that we have in this nation right now, if we were to do reparations first, that would paint a giant target on the back of every Black person in this nation.
That's perfect. So do we want to move to the great wealth transfer then? Because they're talking about how we got to fix everybody because everybody's poor, right? Mm-hmm. Let me zoom out finally. Good. Thank you. Oh my God. Okay. Woo. So everybody's poor. We got to save everybody. White people are poor too. So yes, there are something like 40 million poor white people, but there's something like 147 million white people. So 100 million y'all got money still. So for those 100 million who got money, which yes, your parents who own a house and your grandparents who own a house, yes, this involves you because that's money. That's a wealth transfer. So if your parents ever bought you a car or helped you with a loan, or don't let your parents have bought you a house, all of this stuff, that's a wealth transfer. So welcome to the Wall Street Journal. Older Americans stockpiled a record 35 trillion. The time has come to give it away. And I'm lazy. I don't want to read this. So I'm going to make y'all listen to the computer read it. And let me know if y'all want me to pause it so we can comment on it. Okay? All right, cool.
Older Americans stockpiled a record $35 trillion. The time has come to give it away. Transfers to heirs and others are unleashing a torrent of economic activity, including buying homes, starting businesses, and giving to charity. By Ben Eisen and Ann Turgeson. July 2, 2021, 10 a.m. Eastern Time. The greatest wealth transfer in modern history has begun. Baby boomers and older Americans have spent decades accumulating an enormous stockpile of money. At the end of this year's first quarter, Americans aged 70 and above had a net worth of nearly $35 trillion, according to Federal Reserve data. That amounts to 27% of all U.S.
I just want to pause for a second just so people can understand. Black America as a whole has $3 trillion. That includes Oprah. That includes the that includes all our Black billionaires. That includes everybody. $3 trillion.
Sam, are you saying that there's wealth inequality between us and white people? Who knew?
Oh my God. I don't even know. Oh my God. Do I have to break out the charts? But let's just go through what they have. I'm going to keep playing. Do y'all have anything before I keep going? Because I know this is a lot, but y'all got anything?
No, we good.
Okay. Thank you.
Wealth, up from 20% 3 decades ago. Their wealth is equal to 157% of U.S. gross domestic product, more than double the proportion 30 years ago, federal data show. Now they have started parceling it out to their heirs and others, unleashing a torrent of economic activity, including buying homes, starting businesses, and giving to charity. And many recipients are guided by different priorities and politics than their givers. Older generations will hand down some $70 trillion between 2018 and 2042, according to research and consulting firm Truly Associates. Roughly $61 trillion will go to heirs, increasingly millennials and Generation X heirs, with the balance going to philanthropy. The transfer will provide another display of the outsized economic power of baby boomers, who came of age during a wave of post-World War II.
Sorry, because I have to tie stuff together. So all of these poor white kids that were in the BLM movement, that were all rowdy, are they going to calm down when they get this money from their grandparents, when their grandparents start kicking down this money? Or when their grandparents kick the bucket? Because it says millennials and Gen Xers. Like millennials, that gets down to millennial goes all the way down to 1994. Y'all got anything? I'm sorry. I know I keep pausing. I'm going to let it play some more unless y'all got something.
No, we good. I'm just concerned about these kids having a target on their back. But go ahead.
Yeah, because Black people. No, not even that. Well, hey, yeah, you know why? Because the 40 million poor whites might come and get these people. So we should not allow this great wealth transfer to happen amongst rich whites, because poor whites might come and kill them for their money. And this is why.
But that's the class war they've been asking for, right? That's the class war they want, ain't it? But go ahead, let's continue. Let's too much logic.
Okay. I'm good.
prosperity, and drove the economy through many stages of their lives. The average inheritance in 2019 was $212,854, up 45% from an inflation-adjusted $146,844 in 1998, according to an analysis of Fed data by economists at a unit of Capital One Financial Corporation. And people aren't waiting until they die. Annual gifts taxpayers reported to the Internal Revenue Service, a fraction of the gifts that flow outside the tax system, rose to $75 billion in 2016, from an inflation-adjusted $45 billion in 2010. Over that period, the amount that people could give away without paying taxes on gifts.
Sorry, I'm gonna keep going, but I just want y'all to see this chart. Like, look at how much this has rose since the 1990s. Like, look, 40 trillion gifts to heirs. Somebody lying, y'all white people lying about this money. Are y'all just mad that you haven't got your cut yet? Are you mad that you got to live in a shitty 1-bedroom apartment and your parents couldn't afford to buy you a house, but you go inherit grandma's house?
Yeah, it's all these trust fund kids that are running their movement right now.
Anybody, before I go back to playing this, I just wanted to go through that because you can see this in this chart.
That's the white middle class. Real shit like, I think they said something about the average amount would be 200 something. That's the white middle class. That's not the rich white people. That's how much wealth white people got. Like,
you know, the funny thing. I'm sorry. Please go ahead, John.
That's all. I'm just saying that's the white middle class though. People playing these games like these white people. Yeah, I'm trying to. These. You know. Gotta be seeing one. Mm-hmm.
John, you just said something that triggered something in my head. What'd you say about that 272,000 or something? You said something about 272,000 or something like that being transferred, right?
Yeah, something like
yep. per person. They said, where was it? I'm so sorry. I need to point it out. Okay, so the average inheritance was 212,854. Reparations for Black people is only like 272 to 3 something if we're talking about the down payment, which is the 40 acres and the mule. So white people are getting reparations every fucking generation.
Wealth we weren't allowed to accumulate.
Sorry. Anybody else? I'm sorry. Forgive me. Mud, come on. I need you to say something.
Oh, I'm like driving right now, but yeah. John is right though. I do think though, when we talk about like, we got to be careful when we talk about the middle class based on wealth, because, it could be a whole totally different game, because the way our society works, we base it all on income. We don't even talk about wealth when we're talking about middle class, upper class, and all this shit.
That's facts.
So, like, literally, we could be talking about someone, like, we're saying they have their middle class based on their wealth, and they could be bringing in $1 million every year. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just weird how this whole shit is worked out. But I think that, like, it's intended to work this way to hide what's actually going on.
Mm-hmm. That's a good point, bud.
So that we're confused about, like, it's not just us, it's the poor in general, but mainly us, because this is the focus of our show. I mean, it's about us being confused about what is actually going on so that we never actually demand something different. But yeah, that's all I got to say about that,
That's good. Very good points, Mud. Very good points.
Thank you, Mud. I needed that hot fire. Okay, I'm gonna go back to playing this. I'm sorry, y'all. Y'all got. I hope they don't hit us with a copyright for this.
They'll be all right.
That's what you get for taxing people.
Rose from $1 million to more than $5 million for individuals, and from $2 million to more than $10 million for couples. That gift tax exemption rose again in 2018 and today is $11.7 million for individuals and $23.4 million for couples. In 2026, it is scheduled to return to the 2017 level of $5.49 million per person, adjusted for inflation. Kingston, New York, which sits along the Hudson River north of New York City, is seeing the effect of the approximately $9 trillion expected to flow into philanthropy. When Berkshire Hathaway Incorporated chief executive Warren Buffett, who is 90, decided to give away nearly all his money, he directed big chunks of it to foundations run.
Okay, now I'm gonna have to go back to reading because I don't care about that shit. Let's talk about the money going to the white kids.
Yeah.
Okay. Inheritances and gifts can bring financial stability to some recipients, and for others can provide the freedom to take more risk. Something data have shown drives a great willingness to invest in stocks and increase riskier work ventures, such as starting a business that have potential for bigger payoffs. 20 years ago, Bart Boyer, 73, gave each of his 4 children stock in the financial advisory firm he founded in Asheville, North Carolina. Today, those shares are in privately held Parsec Financial. Parsec. Sorry, y'all. I'm thirsty.
That's a Star Wars word. All good.
Parsec Financial are worth 15 times as much. Each year, he gives them a bit more stock. All that is outside my estate, said Mr. Boyer. Recently, Mr. Boyer and his wife Elaine set up trusts for 5 grandchildren of $25,000 each and plan to give annually for at least a decade. Fred Hampton Leftists, you don't want Black people to get no money? Are you gonna stop this wealth transfer?
They don't want to stop it. They like
y'all gonna stop this wealth transfer. Listen, I don't need y'all to talk about reparations. I need you to talk about how we need to be taxing white people for this wealth transfer. That's in your wheelhouse. This is in your capitalist wheelhouse. So I'm gonna point you where you should go so you get the fuck about our business, because reparations ain't your thing. But this should be your shit right here.
Listening to Reset Race, you're now tuned in to Reset Race. You're listening to Reset Race, you're now tuned in to Reset Race. What? Put them back on the grill again. We grilling them. Put them back on the grill again. We grilling them. Put them back on the grill again. We grilling them. Back on the grill again. We grilling them. You're listening to Reset Race. ADOS need reparations to make America great. You're tuned in to Reset Race. We no longer starving while others eat off our plate. No. You're listening to Reset Race. We focused on our justice claim. We know what is at stake. You're tuned in to Reset Race. You'll find out who really about justice and really who fake. Lineage go back to U.S. Southern plantations. Lineage, Jim Crow and mass incarceration. Redlining lynchings. We are old from this nation. You're not about justice if you ain't for reparations. MG the wise one. Cousin mother intellectual. Samantha bringing fire. Anti-black repressing you. No permanent friends and no permanent enemies. The backbone of the country to win. You need our energy. You gon' see. Listening to Reset Race. You're now tuned in to Reset Race. You're listening to Reset Race. You're now tuned in to Reset Race. Put them back on the grill again. We grilling them. Put them back on the grill again. We grilling them. Put them back on the grill again. We grilling them. Back on the grill again. We grilling them. You're listening to Reset Race. ADOS need reparations to make America great. You're tuned in to Reset Race. We no longer starving while others eat off our plate. No. You're listening to Reset Race. We focused on our justice claim. We know what is at stake. You're tuned in to Reset Race. You'll find out who really about justice and really who fake.
Until you do right by me, everything you think about is gonna crumble.
county land. Through an act of Congress, our government was giving away millions of acres of land in the West and the Midwest, which meant that it was willing to undergird its white peasants from Europe with an economic floor. But not only did they give the land, they built land grant colleges with government money to teach them how to farm. Not only that, they provided county agents to further their expertise in farming. Not only that, they provided low interest rates in order that they could mechanize their farms. Not only that, today, many of these people are receiving millions of dollars in federal subsidies not to farm, and they are the very people telling the black man that he ought to lift himself by his own bootstraps. And this is what we are faced with, and this is the reality. Now, when we come to Washington in this campaign, we are coming to get our check.